For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
If I had my way, a particular individual would be the island's next agriculture minister, bring him through the Senate and appoint him in that important office. Also coming up, imagine a NewsSpinner has shared a video of his kitchen garden with us. I'll be sharing that with you during the course of the program. And of course, we have a whole lot more between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon on this, the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Amanda is on set. She'll be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Time to share with you our Trump tariffs update. And the trade war between the United States and China deepens as the White House says its tariff rate against Beijing is 145%. Donald Trump announced a 125% tariff yesterday, but now the White House confirms an existing 20% levy will be added on top. Beijing earlier announced an 84% tariff on U.S. goods entering the country. U.S. stocks have fallen after earlier gains in the European Union and Asian markets. At one point, Amazon and Apple were down 7% on Wall Street. Elsewhere, the EU put retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. on hold after Trump paused the tariff hikes against Europe for 90 days. Of course, we certainly in St. Lucia and other parts of the Caribbean can breathe a collective sigh of relief. But should we be complacent? Because this current situation we're experiencing right now is volatile, is unpredictable, and we can expect the level of unpredictability to no doubt affect the global community between now and when the next presidential election takes place. So we cannot be too comfortable. This whole thing is fluid. You have to think on your feet. Things are changing by the second, by the minute, by the hour, by the day, by the week. And that is why leaders naturally must be able to respond quickly and effectively to events that are happening around them. And this has been demonstrated by the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Stuart Young, also his Jamaican counterpart, and the Barbados Prime Minister, beloved Prime Minister Mia Mottley. Some people see her as the Prime Minister of the Caribbean community, because it was only recently she spoke on behalf of not only the people of Barbados, the people of St. Lucia, as well as the people of the other members of CARICOM. And while we were there waiting, thirstily anticipating a response from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And a lot of you hypocrites, a lot of you who have little to no relationship with reality and the truth, cannot bear to hear me say that the Prime Minister was missing in action when it matters, or it mattered most. Before Trump declared Liberation Day and issued a statement, he had little bits and pieces from the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. And in certain instances, this was instigated by reporters who attended the pre-cabinet press briefings. And they posed the question to him, and he answered. But he never took it on his own, never saw it as something that requested or required his intervention. To come forward and issue a 10 or 15-minute statement or to convene a press conference on the issue. Up to now, you deniers, he has not done it. But on the campaign trail, at his SLP Tuesday town hall meeting recently, he addressed the issue en passant. And he did so at the opening of the Library Market last Sunday. Again, en passant, in passing, not directly. You have 3-4 homicides over a weekend. He does not address the problem, does not give it the attention that it deserves. So, he is most effective as a campaigner, as a St. Lucia Labour Party campaigner, as opposed to being an effective communicator to the St. Lucian public when it comes to issues of importance. Those are affecting all and sundry in our country. And you can put your clips together, try to distort what I've just said there, and that is the reality. That is what we are facing. We are experiencing a situation where our Prime Minister is not an effective communicator when it comes to dealing with real, pertinent, daily issues that are affecting us. One of the issues affecting us, and it did not start as of July of 2021, but you'd have expected that by now things would have been a lot better. And that is our food security. Again, just mounting a platform and in passing urging people to eat what we grow and grow what we eat, and that's all. You add no flesh to this theme so that there will be buy-in and you convince the people of the country that truly there's need for us to do this, as opposed to just glibly making the point. Show us that you believe in it, because ever so often you say to the people of St. Lucia, protect the victory. Constantly, consistently, continuously protect the victory, protect the victory, protect the victory, protect the victory. And once in a while, in reacting to a situation that is happening on the world market, that is again threatening our food security, all you say to us is, eat what we grow and grow what we eat. You remember? And the warning signs were there when the Prime Minister first came into office. And we were facing the challenge of having to cope with COVID-19. All he could have said to us was, follow the science. That's all. As briefly as possible, follow the science. I tell you that, then you determine what I mean. No further explanation. So increasingly, and again, we have to face that reality, food security. We have a Ministry of Agriculture. As we speak, it is staffed by dozens of trained individuals. You have an agriculture minister, you have a PS, etc. You have a budget. And we just continue to lament not only high food prices, but also a high food import bill. And that means we are very vulnerable as far as our food security is concerned. And we have to give special attention to the individuals who are heading certain ministries. So I don't believe just because you served as a chief forestry officer, automatically it qualifies you to be the minister with responsibility for agriculture. So after interviewing this guy for so long now, close to 2 decades, and realizing that a lot of what he has said, a lot of what he has preached, they're now manifesting themselves. And he has the credibility. In addition to that, he has the passion. He has been very consistent. Remember the Green Party contesting the 2011 German election? People are talking about all kind of areas and issues that would titillate, excite, and entertain people and so on. Mr. De Keres, to his credit, very consistent, focused on the possible decriminalization or legalization of marijuana and benefiting from it financially in terms of setting up businesses and so on. But he also focused on food security. And many people chuckled, they laughed, they ridiculed. And since then, we've had so many opportunities, so many occasions again to make reference to food security. There's a vision 25% by 2025, reducing the region's food import bill. That was supposed to be achieved by 2025. Agriculture ministers met and they realized that it has to be reviewed. And now they're looking to achieve this by 2030. So in light of everything, sometimes what we do is we invest in people who do not have a track record. For me, Mr. Andre De Keres has a track record. If I had my way, he would be the island's next minister with responsibility for agriculture. If I were Prime Minister, you never elect him, but bring him through the Senate and making the island's agriculture minister. Sounds strange, but he has a track record. Let's listen to Mr. Andre De Keres, who was my guest last evening on a Newsmaker Live, focusing on plans for agriculture.
I have not run out of lettuce for months because we stagger our plantings of lettuce. So yes, we could be self-sufficient in lettuce 365 days a year. I am doing it. That's quite possible. Cucumbers and watermelons. The only thing with the watermelons, and this is why I say we need greenhouses to actually grow watermelons, is because torrential rain, cucurbits like watermelons, butternut squash, cucumbers, when torrential rains hit these things, there are vines on the ground and mud splatters on the leaves. They get bacterial wilt, and these things just die overnight. So you need to put the proper infrastructure in place so that during the rainy season, you do not get a drop in production of those cucurbits. So that's why I say it's important to come out with a strategy. But I don't hear any strategy being spoken about in any of the administrations for the last 15 years.
Mr. Andre De Queiroz for Agriculture Minister. And a news spinner that sent me a video of his kitchen garden. So those of you who are watching on Facebook as well as YouTube, you could see for yourself what he has planted. And he says that long before COVID-19, he had his kitchen garden. And his immediate family, extended family, neighbors, they are all reaping the rewards. See there, he has some pumpkin plants. Also, he has lettuce, among other agricultural produce. So, sir, thank you so much for sharing this with us. We had a report that we are scheduled to play yesterday. It has to do with the plight of fish vendors who have been operating in Castries over several years. And now, in light of the facility that was constructed on the waterfront, the waterfront anchorage, they have been relocated, but they're not satisfied with the new place that they have been asked to operate from. We have a report from DBS's Miriam Montoute.
Fish vendors who operated on the waterfront are now selling their fish at the Camilla Alexander Fish Vending Market, alongside fish vendors who already occupied the space. Prior to the grand opening of the anchorage, in early March, the fish vendors were asked to vacate the area by the authorities. Castries Central MP Richard Frederick stated that a new facility would be built at the fisheries complex in Castries. However, the fish vendors raised concerns about relocating to this facility.
And in the place they say they do up there for us, that don't know it's a situation that don't in no condition to be selling fish in. There's like you build a building inside of it, they have no counters, no bins, nothing that's empty, and you're going to sell fish inside of that. That making no sense. They want to get rid of us, and they still they're putting nothing in place for us. If you want us to get out of here and do something really in place for people to sell fish, you can't just tell people to come out from there, you have nothing in place for them to sell fish.
If somebody have 5 pounds of fish in a sink, the next person have to wait for the person to finish cleaning 5 pounds of fish. 2 person got clean a 5 or 2 pounds of fish in a sink. That's wrong. That never in good condition for us. We rather there. A cowboy could come then and Bala could sell, kilo could sell. 1 or 2. You understand? You tell everybody leave your vendors alone. Now you're running behind them. You bring everybody on the roadside.
Yeah, man, rather stay here than going up there in the jailhouse. Look at fish, look at thing there, look at the food market there. Come then take your fish, buy your food and go home. Instead of going right up there in the little dance halls they do there. That have no counter, nothing. Just poles stand up like if it's a dance thing that day.
We have 2 buckets of bala right there. When one finish, we pour in one in another cowboy. So I cannot take that problem. That's a big problem for me. And every day I pay money up and down Canaries. I walk in. Look, the whole morning I there. I pay bus. I have breakfast. I make $1 yet. I'm serious, I swear.
The vendors say that they would have preferred to remain next to the anchorage. Nevertheless, the vendors say that they would rather remain in the Camilla Alexander Fish Vending Market than move to the fisheries. During a pre-cabinet press briefing on Monday, 20th January, Minister Frederick stated that the vendors would move to the new facility in early February. However, the facility remains closed. For the DBS News World, Miriam Montoute reporting.
The report was filed earlier this week by DBS's Miriam Montoute. Let's open the lines right now to take your calls at 452-2979. 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, 716-2026. We already have a call online via WhatsApp as we say hello and good afternoon to you, caller. You are on the air.
We already have.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good day.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you.
It's amazing how the old people have something saying. Wash your glow, kamade ate, wash the ate, kamade a glow. You see, this is the problem with our people, you know. I remember when the last administration had rebuilt the market team. They make it all nice and everything was in there for the vendors. They didn't want to go in it, I remember.
Yes, I can recall.
But now they give them what they deserve and they complaining. But that's what y'all wanted. You understand? So take it. Tim, I heard a guy talking yesterday about how much this government has done for farmers. Tim, do you know that underneath Alan Chasney kept on warning the banana companies about their selection process, which was not good. Every time they send bananas to England would reject the whole shipment. And then they would come back to the government. You remember how government had to be bailing out those companies all the time? And that was one of the things Alan Chasney stopped. Because they kept on sending nonsense for the people. When they reject everything, they coming back to St. Lucia and ask government to bail out because they have to pay the farmers. But everything that we went up with was rejected. Tim, when this new administration came in, they jump on board. Oh, we're sending bananas to England. But they still refuse to work on the selection process. And what happened? Banana died completely. They stopped taking bananas from us completely. So now a banana farmer, sometimes all he gets is 10 boxes to sell bananas. You know, they'll tell you they cannot give you 20, they cannot give you that. You know, that's what you can get. Oil is a problem, Tim. When you tell me donor countries are giving millions of dollars to go to farmers for assistance, Tim. And then now, when fertilizer arrive, and these are things I can tell you about, I know I am a registered farmer. When fertilizer arrive, you will see persons that have abundant farms are the ones getting the most. You'll see persons that have no farm getting fertilizer. You'll see people that come and quarrel for fertilizer. They're not even farmers, Tim. Simply because they have some tie with a particular government official. Okay? When they get finance, donor countries finance for farmers to get tanks. Who you seen carrying the tanks, Tim? 50% of them not farmers. When you pass by, you driving around the place, I'm sure you've seen how many tanks in people's yards. Just sitting there. Most of them are not farmers, Tim, because they have some tie with a government official. They get in those tanks. When they're giving, week before last week, they were giving mats, Tim, ground cover. I went up there to get ground cover because I was one of the farmers selected because we planting watermelon and fruit crops, you know, short-term fruit crops. I mean, that's the ideal thing for your short-term fruit crops. We were told that we would get at least 2 ground cover. First thing I heard from the people is that I understand that there are certain persons they were told to give more than 2, and they will not give anybody more than 2 apart from those persons that was said to give, that they were told to give more than 2. When our turn came from the Mikud area, we only got 1. You planting, let's say, an acre of watermelon. What are you doing with 1 ground cover that will cover only about 2 beds or maybe 1 bed and a half for you, Tim? When they got the donation to give to vegetable farmers that are planting those short-term vegetable crops, fruit crops, you know, people who have bananas and planting getting ground cover, people who have nothing like that getting ground cover, okay? Got weed eaters, everything. They giving it on their friends' basis, people who are not even farmers. How can you tell me farmers can ever move from point A to point B? When Alan Chasney was there, he organized the banana marketing board. They were making those boxes, selling to hotels, whatever. Now, all of that is out of the picture. When you sell to marketing board right now, they're taking how long to pay you because they're not organized. Everything is dead for farmers. When you plant, I remember we never used to go and sell to Massey or wholesalers, Just going, we would harvest over 11 vans of banana, watermelon, And you know where all that was selling? By the road. That's why we're making the money, by the road. You understand? Today, when we make watermelon, we have to compete with other farmers who try to sell to Massey. We have to try to sell to wholesalers, wherever you get it. Because right now, when you go and sell for you to make $300 is on a good day, like a Friday, you will make $300, barely. When you cut one watermelon, you have to put it on ice.
Don't you think, Caller, maybe there's a glut on the market? No?
No, Tim, that's not the case. Because I have gone to sell and I'm the only one sometimes in Viewfort. And I can tell you, I have to put the watermelon on ice because it's staying too long.
So what is the problem? Why
selling watermelon was like an exercise for me because I would never stop cutting. You understand? Now when you cut, you have to sit down and wait how long before one watermelon sell. What happened to Viewfort especially, is that this administration has killed Viewfort. Okay? When you had all those local persons working at St. Jude's, that was money that was coming in. When you had persons working at DSH, that was money that was coming in. Ojo Labs that closed that was money that was coming in. I tell BPO, move from $11 to $9 something and cut on benefits, That's money we lost. Okay? You have the airport. That's money that stopped coming in. You understand? So when you kill the economy in the South, what do you think is going to happen? Nothing will sell, and that is the problem we're facing with this government. So even if you go and plant how much you want, what you doing with it? You're not seeing the vendors by the road, especially down south. Figlaka miga gata leyo. Mago attack te biga, ik having tractor leyo boshima because ipa have on time. Tout bagay ka fed away leyo because ipa have on time, because pani la janvier for. You understand? You kill the South. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-2979. Once again, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says there, the government just gave $500,000 to a random private tech company and nobody bats an eye. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says they just want to say to the Minister of Sports, have a good look of what's happening in Grenada today right now as we speak. Remember, the Prime Minister of Grenada came to St. Lucia in support of the PJP Labour Party, and now both Grenada and St. Vincent are ahead of St. Lucia. Tell him, have a look and take note, because I'm there enjoying every bit of it. Thank you. Let's see if we have a call on the landline at 452-2979. In the meantime, a WhatsApp message. Let me see if I could go through it. Maybe Amanda could go through. Okay, we have a call. Good afternoon to you. NewsSpin, you on the air.
Good afternoon, team. How are you?
I'm okay, sir. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Amanda. This is David Henry here.
Yes, Mr. Henry.
I also have the capacity, team, as a strategy consultant on international trade, especially. And on a subsequent broadcast or on an opportunity, I will seek to become one of the guests on your show.
Is that Mr. Henry who wants to be the president of the NYC?
That is he.
Okay, sir. Go ahead.
I apologize if you're hearing noise in the background and on the main road, in some dirt road in.
That's okay. That's okay.
American, which
that's
is
okay.
Why I called. On the matter of food security, Tim, I have a unique position in Latin America and the Caribbean as a food systems young leader. And I have reached out to the Minister for Agriculture. He pointed me into the direction of the PS, who is Mr. Bradley Chetaj, and I have been trying to contact him. I've sent many voice notes, and I'm still waiting. On May 11th, I'll be heading to Thailand to the Youth Assembly of the UN Food System Stock Ticket Moment. There I will share my frustration as a young people and speak about the involvement of young people in agricultural food systems. Now, St. Lucia is one of the countries who do not have, and there are quite a few Caribbean countries who do not have a food systems pathway. And I mean, after a couple months of engaging, trying to get in touch with the minister, and even leaving the voice notes for him, it's very disappointing to know that there was a recent consultation on a strategy on food systems or whatever it is. And nobody contacted me, nobody remembered me, and that's okay. I just present what I know when I travel. Now, Tim, I've had a history of engaging leaders globally, and one of them I can speak maybe a bit highly of is Honorable Shasley. Now, Honorable Shasley, in his time as a Prime Minister, every time there was a problem, for example, I'm not sure if you can recall, there was once that the Canaries Health Center was reported broken into, and some young people made some discovery of a mold infestation. That was me and my team. And you see, the thing is, we believe in country first. We believe in Canaries first. And immediately the day after, treatment happened, and the health center was functioning not too long after. That is a very important community service that has to be provided. There are other instances, Tim, where I spoke on the playing field, and I mean, myself and on Mr. Fede, the Honorable, now Senator Fede, we were very good compadres because he said that he was going to act on behalf of young people. And when that field took too long to open, I went on to a political show, Solution. And the field opened, and Mr. Shasley said to me, you know, as long as you can challenge my government, we can show you that we can. And so since then, I've been enjoying the privilege as a young leader to challenge the government, and nothing has happened to me. I work as a public servant, I work as a police officer. My job was never victimized or anything like that. And I hope that I can carry on that same privilege now moving into the NYC and campaigning as a president. Tim, on the matter of international trade, St. Lucia has been set up as one of these countries where the people do not know how to handle situations happen to them reference to trade and international business. And that is because the education being provided to us is not, you don't teach young people, you don't teach people to be international traders, you teach them to be business owners or some kind of course or exercise or capacity in business. And that is a problem. But Tim, one of these days I'll become a guest on your show, and I will talk about all of the solutions that I have tried to communicate that nobody is taking on. However, Tim, I am on, and this is the main reason why I called. I am on the Canaries Highway in some dust in a particular area named Uslavedi. And there's only two structures for about, I would say, 600 meters or yards or whichever long distance measurement you can use. And there's only two structures there, a house and a business. And every day people pass by and they see this very same gentleman or his partner watering the road. And that is as a result of the neglect and inhumane treatment that has been given to them. Now, Tim, I don't care about adult affairs. I stop believing in adults because they're not open. But however, I have to represent the interests of young people. I'm representing the interest today for the children and the young people who live in that family. Tim, the people in that family have breathing conditions. They have breathing illnesses. And every day, multiple times a day, you would see this family watering the road. Then a Malco truck passes. And for some reason, it skips that particular area between the two houses and it carries along its way down to Canaries. I have seen that firsthand. One other thing I have
now regarding this particular situation, somebody sent me a WhatsApp video.
Tim, that was me. But I'm going to put something together so that people can see.
Well, what I will do right now, and I've just transferred it to the producer, and he will be putting it on screen in a moment. But continue.
Okay, Tim. So they can see. Tim, for some reason, the Malco happens to skip that area between the two houses. Now, Tim, one thing I can tell you for sure, and that I've seen firsthand, is that I observe these big jeeps that pass around, and there's the SLG on it. Some of them are black, some of them are grey. And some of them travel to Super on Tuesday. Tim. And I wasn't too far from when they passed. And Tim, I Mr. Lenny was watering his road. Why not give them past? So people are aware. The family went onto the media, and I believe that's why. I'm not speculating anything. I believe that is why this is happening. But if you go a little higher up or a little lower down, the road is paved. But there is no residents living in that area. But the road is paved, Tim. Now, to make it worse, I'm going to move Namalco. I'm going to move the ministers out of the situation. Because this is no longer infrastructure. This is a humanity situation. And Tim, I want to move into the direction of Wasco. Wasco has made many announcements of a water crisis. To some extent, they asked at a point in time, I don't know if it's still applicable, they asked farmers to stop using pipe water to water their crops and to look into storage systems. I think there was even a discount for tanks for farmers. Tim, the man is using, his family is using several times a day. They're using water to keep the dust down, Tim. For a man to have some clear air to breathe. Well, not even clear, because after 30 minutes I'm there and I cannot even take the dust. However, Tim, I'm going to put a production together, because the bosses of Kenya is going to fix it. The Marco's management is going to fix it. Government members are part of the city, they don't see the need to fix it. They don't see the need, or maybe things go through one and they come out of the other. So I'm going to put a production together and I'm going to share it by tonight. And I hope that the rest of the nation can share it as well. Because if these people cannot deal with that issue, I believe it's something that the funders, the people who are paying for this project, should see, and let's see if they would prioritize, the political affiliation that this family might have, and put it in contrast to the human dignity of the people who live there. And that's what I'm going to do. And Tim, like I said in the beginning, I'm a strategy consultant, and I've spoken to many people, and people understand that I am in the interest of young people, and I'm looking to become the president of the NYC upcoming. So I'm doing this thing with no fear. I'm doing this thing with no favor. Tim, and I hope that St. Lucia does rally and support the cause, because it is in the interest of the people of St. Lucia. And I believe a country whose motto is the land, the people, and the light. I believe, Tim, that the people are the biggest value of our country. And it's disappointing that we're going through such a time where the leaders who have to step up are not stepping up, or maybe the leaders who are stepping up do not know what they are doing, Tim. But Tim, that's for another show. I don't want to take too much of your time. Thank you so much. And Tim, I must say, I want to commend you for having a young person. Every time I go on your show, I see a young person. I want to say hello to Amanda. And I do hope that, I can share many more concerns with you, Tim. Thank you so much.
Okay, looking forward to having the formal discussion with you, maybe on Newsmaker Live or NewsSpin. Thank you so much, Mr. David Henry. By the way, when will the election of officers take place?
Tim, as it stands right now, the last I heard is that they don't even have a electoral commission up as yet. So, Tim, God knows when that will be. Mm-hmm. My hope is that it will not be after elections, because, Tim, a country cannot go for so long without an NYC.
Okay.
The youth voice has to be represented. And so I'm looking to make an appeal to the district youth and sports councils around St. Lucia to invest some power in me through a coalition, so that we can represent the interests of young people on a formal basis. But that's something we'll talk about, Tim, when I become one of your hosts one day.
Looking forward to that. Thank you so much for calling, sir. Just heard there from Mr. David Henry. He is looking to become the next president of the National Youth Council. Still to come, we'll be focusing on our question of the day. What are the chances of the SLP imposing more taxes on you if it is re-elected into office? That and a whole lot more on this, the most monitored talk show in the world.
KFC is bringing the flavor and the vibes with the Jazz Box. Just $30. Get one zinger or big crunch sandwich, 5 undipped wings, fries, a biscuit, 16-ounce drink, and a shot at VIP Jazz Weekend for 2. Buy a Jazz box at any of our 5 KFC locations. Write your name and number on the receipt and drop it in the entry box to enter. Draw takes place May 7th. VIP tickets for May 9th, 10th, and 11th could be yours. Available now till May 31st. Only at KFC St. Lucia. Dine in, drive through, or order online at kfcslu.com. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucelec wishes to advise customers and the public that its customer service offices at the Carolec building in San Souci and VA4 are temporarily closed to facilitate urgent maintenance. The Lucelec Cantonment office in VA4 is now open on a limited basis, offering all services except payments. The Rodney Bay office remains open to serve customers. Customers who wish to make payments during this closure are encouraged to access the My Account service at myaccount.lucelec.com. Sure Pays online and walk-in service options or participating financial institutions. Payments made via Sure Pay and My Account Direct on weekdays from 8 to 4 p.m. will be processed to customer accounts the same day. Payments made after 4 p.m. will be processed the next business day. For account balances, please dial the Automated Account Inquiry Service line at 457-4433. Customers can access other Lucelec services by using the virtual service desk at www.lucelec.com. The management of Lucelec deeply regrets any inconvenience caused by these closures and thanks its valued customers for their patience and understanding.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you. Just for me? Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience. So I get to treat myself every time I shop? Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
So fast pay, a new and easy way to pay. So fast pay, so fast pay.
You asked for it and you got it. A quicker way to pay your bills online. It's fast, secure, and easy to use. No registration, no additional fees. Flow is now offering FastPay, an online service that allows you to settle your bills in less than 2 minutes. Need a receipt? FastPay will send it to your email immediately. Use FastPay now for convenience, safety, and efficiency at discoverflow.co/fastpay.
So fast pay, 2 minutes and you're on your way. So fast pay, so fast pay.
Flow is keeping you connected.
Stop. How much more pain can you take? Back pain, blinding headaches, numbness, weak knees, spinal injuries, stroke. You've tried everything. Nothing works. Enough. La Clinique du Corps has the experts and technology to diagnose and fix the problem permanently. Our specialist doctors use cutting-edge solutions to treat back pain, knee pain, sciatica, stroke recovery, spinal injuries, arthritis, heel pain, and more. With advanced pain management techniques, we provide fast, effective relief so you can live pain-free. La Clinique du Corps is an approved universal healthcare service provider in St. Lucia, accepting all approved insurance. Take back your life. Call La Clinique du Corps right now at 451-6559 to book your appointment. Pain stops here.
Essie, don't tell me that tire flat again. I just changed that tire.
Wait, what? You just changed that tire?
Well, I bought a used one because you didn't give me enough money.
Oh, I see. Well, you know what? Chivi's Tire Shop only carry brand new quality tires at affordable prices with free installation.
Hey, it seems you're working at Chivi's Tire Shop. How you know all that?
Come on, Brenda. The tire shop down the road from our home in the American Drywall Building.
Oh, yes. I forgot. Well, you know what, Patrick? Let's go there right now. Take your wallet. Let's go.
Chivi's Tire Shop, located at the American Drywall Building, Vic Boutte. Call or WhatsApp 584-5986. Chivi's Tire Shop. Pay less, drive more.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
On Sunday, May 4th, it's a party under the pitons. Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. MTX Band, Sly, Arthur Alweb, Rebo 7, DYP, Former Nappy, Cohen Dubois, T-Vice, and headliner Busy Signal. Party with us, dine with us, stay with us for Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience. Tickets are only $150 EC. You can choose to elevate your experience at our VIP village for only $400 EC. The best value for money, the best vibes, and the most exquisite location. Tickets available from the Cell Outlets, Island Wine, SRDF office in Soufre, and www.fourcirclestickets.com. Sunday, May 4th, Soufre Mini Stadium. Soufre Jazz, the ultimate experience.
Thank you so much for staying with the world's most monitored talk show. What's a message? This dust situation is also in the Kaimajé area. This has been the case since the advent of Cricket World Cup. Part of the road is not paved and some households have to keep all windows and the doors closed. This is getting to be ridiculous. It's time to fix that portion of road. Too much dust? Imagine that was part of the infrastructure upgrade for Cricket World Cup. WhatsApp message. Time for me to turn my attention now to the question of the day. The NewsSpin question of the day reads, what are the chances of the SLP imposing more taxes on you if it is re-elected into office? What are the chances of the SLP imposing more taxes on you if it is re-elected into office? Somebody has a response. His name is Leonard Spider Mortut.
There was a time when oil was sky high. The price of a barrel of oil on the world market was in the area of $120 US. And in St. Lucia, the price of a gallon of gas was $13.95. $120 a barrel on the world market. In St. Lucia, you go to the pump and you could have gotten a gallon of gas for $13.95. Today, it is below $70 on the world market. You go to the pump and you have to pay $16.50. Now you ask, how come? When prices go down, it should redound to the benefit of the consumer. Why are we paying more when the price is less? That is because your government is engaging in gouging. They are exploiting the people of St. Lucia because they're supposed to pass on the savings from the lowering in the cost. They're supposed to pass on that saving to you, the consumer, but they're not doing it. They're taking that money. And that is why they're boasting every year that their projection was so many millions and they made so many more millions. Now, and while they're smiling and laughing, you know, it's from your pocket they're taking it. Okay? It's from your pocket they're taking it. They said the 2.5 was only temporary, but it's still there. and it's going to continue to be there. The IMF is proposing to them that they should bring the VAT back to 15%. They're not going to talk about that now. But if you make the mistake of electing a St. Lucia Labour Party government, as soon as they get back into office, they're going to slap you with another 2.5% on VAT. These are the things that we have to be mindful of. And when that happens, it's irreversible for the next 5 years. So, precaution.
Just heard from Leonard Spider-Motut speaking on the program Meet the Opposition on Rev Up St. Lucia. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Poleon. How are you doing, sir?
I am okay, caller. Good afternoon to you.
Yes. I'm calling her because I think sometime this week, someone called about a telecommunication company.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. I'm calling her from Canada. And I'm St. Lucian by birth. Mm-hmm. And I'm calling in regards to this telecommunication company. Actually, Mr. Poleon, this goes way back. How would I say it here? We came into the island of St. Lucia since 2007 to try and get a telecommunication license to provide internet. As a matter of fact, it's an individual license to provide internet, cable TV, voice over IP, and other services to the public in general. And we came and we hooked up a tower in St. Lucia when we came in at the Green Parrot Hotel, so we could show the government of St. Lucia and members of ECTEL the technology that we are going to be providing.
What year was that?
For the people of St. Lucia. 2007,
okay.
We came in. Mm-hmm. From 2007, okay? When we put up the tower up at Green Parrot Hotel, we did get some special spectrum from ECTEL to try out the network, so we can show the people of St. Lucia and ECTEL by extension what we are doing in Canada and what we can bring to the region in St. Lucia. After this, we decided there were some hurdles, so we decided to pull out because the 700 megahertz frequency wasn't available. So we said, okay, we are going to pull out from it, and we're going to try again. At the same time, we stayed in St. Lucia. We decided to stay and help to pair the 700 megahertz frequency. I know members of ECTEL may not know of this, but we sat with the Ministry of Telecommunications, I think, yes, it was, and we sat with Mr. Perry Mason. I think he was the one at the ministry at that time, where the 700 megahertz frequency was just out for auctioning by the FCC. So you find that it wasn't really available in St. Lucia as yet, but there were still consultations going on for the release of that spectrum. So we decided to stay back and sit with Mr. Perry Mason so we could try and see how we can show them how to pair the frequency in that time. We stayed back, we did what we had to do, and then we decided to leave because we know we couldn't get the spectrum under that frequency, so we had to pack up and leave. We then make another application again in 2010. This time when we made the application, the 700 megahertz frequency was available. But we were denied the application that time because we didn't have our financials certified, notarized by Wells Fargo. So you find that whoever were viewing the application for approval could have simply sent us a correspondence saying to us, can you get your financials notarized and send them back? But what they did, they just decided to decline us the license. So we agreed on to that. We got frustrated. We said, something so simple, y'all decide to just decline the license when you could have come back. So we spoke to the minister at that time, which was Mr. Jimmy Fletcher. And Mr. Jimmy Fletcher at the same time did look at why we were denied the license. And he self said it was a simple thing. They could have come back to y'all, which was just by 5 points. So I know a lot of people may not know what are the criteria to get an individual license. But the criteria is very simple, where you would need a base of 65 points to get a license. And in the criteria, where you will have your legals, which will be 5 points, you will have your financial, which will be 60 points, and you will have your technical, which will be 35 points. But in an overall, you would need 30 points from your financials to add up to make that 65. So in terms, the 5 points for the legal, which you can just say is null and void, because what they would more base on looking at is your financials and your technicals, okay, for you to get this license. But what puzzles us most when we came back in again, because the investors and everybody decided, look, we're going to pull out of St. Lucia because the ease of doing business in St. Lucia makes no sense. So we're going to pull out of St. Lucia. I said, no, let us make St. Lucia our pilot project. We have already shown the people of the government of St. Lucia what we can do. So let us make St. Lucia our pilot project. So we made an application again. It was in 2019. COVID came, but then we will approve the license in 2021. We were approved in 2021. We paid our license application fee. The same 2021, but the license was only signed in July of 2021, which was in the time of, I think, was the election. This is when the license was signed. And from this day forth, we are waiting on spectrum, which you cannot have a license to operate and you don't have spectrum. You need spectrum to operate. So we have been trying to get onto spectrum, or we have been in dialogue with ECTEL, NTRC on the spectrum basis. We have decided to change certain spectrums, saying we cannot use this because on the application for your frequency, you would stipulate on that form what frequency bandwidth that you're looking for. They would never approve you your license if they know that they cannot provide you with the amount of spectrum that you need. So why approve us a license with the technicals and you all cannot give us the spectrum up to this date? Okay. They gave us, then they had correspondence with us, sending correspondence. Okay, we can give you that amount of spectrum. When we look at it, we said, okay, we can work with this. We can come in and operate. We send the correspondence back to them. When we send it back to them, they send correspondence back to us again saying, we cannot give you this anymore. So we are saying, why you cannot give us this anymore? You just said to us, you can give it to us. Now we are telling you we can work with it, but now you're saying you cannot give it to us anymore. So then they send another set of spectrums to us. And when we look at it, we said to them, okay, we can still work with this one, okay, which is the 3.5 gigahertz. They send additional to us also, but we are saying to them, okay, let us drop this one and we will work with the remainder. When we send the correspondent back to them again, they are saying to us, we give you all too much spectrum. But we are saying, how can you give us too much spectrum when we are the ones who saying to y'all, we not going to work with this one, but we're going to accept this one. We are the one giving you back spectrum, but you are saying to us, you gave us too much spectrum. So this is what have this thing a little puzzle though. In 4 years, we are trying to come into the market to compete with cable and wireless and digital, and we cannot get spectrum up to this date. And the last set of spectrum they sent to us, they sent it to us with a draft invoice, letting us know what we have to pay. They already tell us what equipment we're going to use. We have already sent all these correspondence back to them. But it's like they keep on asking for things that we already gave them. And when we come back and say to them, are we okay? Then they're coming back and say to us, oh, we cannot give you this anymore. So it comes like saying to us that they just don't want another provider to come in. So for 4 years, we are trying to get spectrum to come and operate in the island of St. Lucia. You all are giving us what is available. And when we are saying to you all, we accept it, you all are coming back to us and say, it's not available, we cannot give it to you all. And sending the last document, which is a draft invoice, and the last spectrum you're going to give us, we are coming to you and saying to you, we are going to take on to this amount of spectrum and leave this one behind, But you all are coming back again to us and saying to us, we gave you too much, when we are the one who are returning spectrum to you.
What do you think? What do you
think?
think is the reason for the delay and the red tape?
This would have to do with Ectel. I'm not saying with NTRC, with Ectel. We just feel Ectel is just holding back another provider from coming in. Now, we have sent correspondence to Mr. David Cox, which is the chairman or whatsoever of Ectel. We have sent to Mr. Dawsu also. I've written to them. We have written to the chairman of NTRC. The chairman of NTRC have written back to us, corresponded back to us, sent a letter back to us. But Ectel just don't communicate back to us. The guys at NTRC, we are very pleased with them. They correspond with us. They let us know what is going on. But they also have issue because when they're saying to us, we are waiting on Ectel. This is all NTRC is saying. Oh, we haven't gotten a response back from Ectel. So it looks like NTRC is also even frustrated with Ectel. And people must understand, Ectel is there for recommendation. NTRC is the governing body that you send your application to. So if NTRC is saying to you, this spectrum is available, give the applicant this spectrum, look at it. If there is any interference, let us know. Okay? And you, Ectel, is coming back and don't want to give the spectrum where NTRC is saying to you is available. It tells you there is a problem at Ectel. So I don't know the minister. I've had a meeting with the minister also, but the minister really needs to look into this Ectel body. I think this thing is structured wrongly, really and truly. I think NTRC should take responsibility for providing the spectrum because they're the ones doing all the work, and I applaud them. I really applaud each and every member at NTRC because NTRC knows of our company. They were very pleased when we got our license also because of knowing for how long we have been trying to get a license. We have had Zoom calls with each and every one of them, including members of Ectel, Mr. Nerve, Mr. Augustine, Mr. Alvin Augustine, all of them, which is the spectrum management, explaining to them the technology that we are bringing into the island, cheaper service to the people of St. Lucia, okay? And you all are keeping us back from coming in by just releasing spectrum to us for us to come and operate. Now, TP, just tell me, how many franchise restaurants or some of those things you have seen in St. Lucia, apart from, I think it's KFC? Do you see any other franchise restaurants coming to St. Lucia? I don't think you're going to see any because you see all those restaurant chains come in because of the networking. They look at the telecommunication networking, which is on the island before they can come in, because everything works by networking. The banks may be suffering. I am guarantee you that you've been to the banks and they tell you, oh, my system just froze. I can guarantee they'll say to you, oh, my system is slow. Can you just wait? I have to reboot it. Okay. So you're looking at those ministries, okay, that rely on telecommunication, the tourism industry, okay, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Commerce, they all rely on telecommunication, okay? And they are not looking into how many applicants that have acquired the license, how many of them are operating in the island of St. Lucia, where it is in the application and also in the license that they give you a period of time to roll out and the amount of customers that you have to have within that period of time, and none of these guys are rolling out. So why not release spectrum that these guys are not using? Even cable and wireless. When you tell me cable and wireless is holding on to the 900 megahertz frequency, and they're not using it. CDMA is a no more in St. Lucia, and you have technology right now which can utilize the CDMA, the 900, and provide broadband. So you're saying to me, the members of Ectel, I am not looking into this. Okay, the government ministers, I am not looking into this. Okay, people are frustrated. Hotels are going to be frustrated because I can guarantee people will tell you they will put up onto this and on all of those social media. Oh, I'm sitting by my pool. I can't even get internet. I can't get internet in my room. You know, the vessels that are coming in. Do you know what it is when you can provide a good service that a cruise ship on the outside can tap into your network before it even gets in? The guys know of the technology that we are bringing in. They have circulated that. And I think they just do not want a competitor to come in because they know by receiver communications coming into the island of St. Lucia, we are going to create a different atmosphere when it comes to telecommunication. So I hope the ministers and them can look into that, especially the minister responsible for telecommunication, because our next correspondent will be to the new chairman of ECTEL, which is Mr. Dixon, and the new director of NTRC, which is this gentleman from Dominica. This is where we are sending our next correspondence right now, because we want to know why ECTEL is delaying an applicant by providing them with the spectrum required for them to come and compete with the people, with the other two companies, and provide a better service for the people of St. Lucia, which we use St. Lucia as our pilot project, because we have showed them what we can do in 2007 when they gave us some spectrum, so we can utilize the equipment and provide the service where people, even Mr. Hinkson, I recall, in the time of Scotiabank when he came to Green Parrot, and he sat at Green Parrot Hotel having lunch. And when he tapped into the Wi-Fi, he was asking, where is this fast internet is coming from? And Mr. Chef Harry came up to where we were on the tower and said to us, the gentleman wants to speak to us. And he said, look, we want you all to become open up your account with Scotiabank, and I hope that this service that y'all are bringing, that y'all are going to bring it very soon. So this is what I want to say to the people at ECTEL, and I'm saying again, I'm very thankful to the members at NTRC because they'll be doing a very good job. But the issue is with ECTEL, because ECTEL should know we have been there for a very long time, even in the time of the ICT centers. Okay, Mr. Christopher Roberts, Mr. Bertini, Cletus Bertini. These guys don't know how long we have been moving around and try and bring a better service to the island of St. Lucia, which is what we are bringing all over Canada, in Africa, where we have license at this moment. Thank you very much for your time and giving me this opportunity to tell you what is going on with Seva Communications.
Okay, sir.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much. This gentleman has been speaking on this matter over close to 20 minutes, exactly 17 minutes. Quite thorough. And do not tell me that this does not warrant a response from the folks at ECTEL, because we've heard his side of the story. It is very important, and it was very detailed, very thorough. Very important that we also hear from ECTEL as far as this issue is concerned. Somebody is also very versed in this subject area is Mr. Lionel Ellis, and he is on the line. Let's take his call right now. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Ellis. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Very interesting, Timothy. Good afternoon to you. As I was driving and I heard this gentleman. And what I said to you yesterday or day before is just a shortened version of what this gentleman was just explaining. And this is what I'm concerned about. The fact is that we have a National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, NTRC, that is being controlled by ECTEL. Now, ECTEL has wider powers around the region, and they have preferential treatment, and they can make life frustrated for any applicant or any person. And this is exactly what happened over the years. And I have said this openly a long time ago. There needs to be a separation of powers between NTRC and ECTEL. So what this gentleman said, and I listened to him attentively, is just a long plain version of the contribution I made to you recently. The structure is wrong. The structure has been causing the problems for every applicant. They take too long to make decisions because Tom is waiting for Harry and Harry is waiting for Jane and Jane doesn't know what the heck to do. That is the problem we have. Tim, thank you very much. I won't say any more now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it is called NewsSpin. Still to come, we have some more of your calls, your WhatsApp messages, and what is happening with the Soufrière Cemetery. Please stay with us.
Lucelec wishes to advise customers and the public that its customer service offices at the Carolec building in Sans Souci and Vieux-Fort are temporarily closed to facilitate urgent maintenance. The Lucelec Cantonment office in Vieux-Fort is now open on a limited basis, offering all services except payments. The Rodney Bay office remains open to serve customers. Customers who wish to make payments during this closure are encouraged to access the My Account service at myaccount.lucelec.com. Sure Pays online and walk-in service options or participating financial institutions. Payments made via SurePay and My Account Direct on weekdays from 8 to 4 p.m. will be processed to customer accounts the same day. Payments made after 4 p.m. will be processed the next business day. For account balances, please dial the Automated Account Inquiry Service line at 457-4433. Customers can access other Lucelec services by using the virtual service desk at www.lucelec.com. The management of Lucelec deeply regrets any inconvenience caused by these closures and thanks its valued customers for their patience and understanding.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Here's a fun fact. In just 29 seconds, you can say goodbye to paper bills forever. Seriously, in 29 seconds. That's less time than this ad. Head over to discoverflow.co or visit us in-store and update your contact information now. By October 1st, your bills will be digital, easy to access, secure, and hassle-free. So what are you waiting for? This ad still has 2 seconds left, and you could have already gone paperless.
I in a good spirit. I drink in a good
St. Lucia, are you ready for the ultimate all-inclusive?
Chalet Blanc, the all-white event. Tier 1 now available at Frontline Ticketing, Eventbrite, Digicel Baywalk Mall, 4 Circles Ticketing, or WhatsApp at 240-344-8629. A musical journey curated by the best local and international DJs. St. Lucia Carnival Saturday, July 19th, 1 p.m. to 8 p.m.
At Sanders Golf Country Club, Kappa State.
Look something to talk about.
Unlimited drinks, brunch buffet, top-class entertainment.
Stay tuned. This event is powered by One Golden Fox and Natalie Events.
Stop. How much more pain can you take? Back pain, blinding headaches, numbness, weak knees, spinal injuries, stroke. You've tried everything. Nothing works. Enough. La Clinique du Corps has the experts and technology to diagnose and fix the problem permanently. Our specialist doctors use cutting-edge solutions to treat back pain, knee pain, sciatica, stroke recovery, spinal injuries, arthritis, heel pain, and more. With advanced pain management techniques, we provide fast, effective relief so you can live pain-free. La Clinique du Corps is an approved universal healthcare service provider in St. Lucia, accepting all approved insurance. Take back your life. Call La Clinique du Corps right now at 451-6559 to book your appointment. Pain stops here.
I've seen you here before, and I have something special just for you. What have we here? Happy housewarming to me? That's the MNC Home Depot Rewards Card. You'll earn points every time you shop, plus exclusive savings and promotions just for you.
Just for me?
Yes, just for you. Shop in store or online and enjoy a seamless experience.
So I get to treat myself every time I shop?
Exactly. It's time to reward yourself.
MNC Home Depot and Sunbelt Rewards Card. Sign up and reward yourself today at www.mnchomedepot.com.
Taco Thursday
Thursdays at Senior Snapper from Thursday 13th February 2025 and every Thursday.
St. Lucia, your Thursdays just got a whole lot better. After work, there's only one place to be. Taco Thursdays at Senor Snapper Seafood Grill and Margarita Bar.
In Cruisley Town, that is Marie Therese Street.
Live DJ, fresh tacos, and island vibes. What more do you need? Tacos for just $10 plus 2-for-1 margaritas and mojitos to keep the good times flowing.
Thursdays is Taco Thursdays at Senior Snapper.
On Easter Sunday, when the sun rises in the west, so will the vibes. Rise 5 in Citrus. Rise 5 in Citrus. April 20th, Soufre Mini Stadium. From 3 p.m. featuring Imran Nerdy, Arthur, Shemi J, DYP, plus St. Lucia's biggest DJs. Plus Soca Sensation Hyper Sounds. Hyper Sounds. Voice of the one, Hyper Sound. Tickets are $120, available at all sell outlets, Mambo's Bar in Soufre, and online at fourcircletickets.com. More at the door. Platinum sponsor, Court St. Lucia. Gold sponsors, Bank of St. Lucia, Hotel Chocolat, Hennessy, Bounty Rum, JP Chenet, and KFC. Bronze sponsor, Heineken, Power 97.9 FM. Media sponsor, Liberty Media. Rise 5 in Citrus. On Easter Sunday, we rise.
Also sponsored by Blue Waters and Angostura Chill.
I have one concern, and that is with the Soufre Cemetery. I want to know what's going on with the Soufre Cemetery. To me, it has taken the government too much time to do something with the cemetery. Every time I go to a funeral, there's a boat still in the cemetery. You get stove, you get everything else in the cemetery, and that shouldn't be. So, I want to know what is going on with the Soufre Cemetery.
You've asked a question about the cemetery. I want to tell you, after burial, the state of the cemetery, we have invested in the cleaning of the cemetery. But you are correct. You are correct. There is a boat there, but it has an owner. We cannot take it out. We have to negotiate. The owner must take out the boat. So it's not, we help all the other people who needed our help, but the owner of that boat has a responsibility to dispose of it.
Okay.
So we cannot touch it. In addition to that, you will realize that you have a broken cemetery wall.
Yes.
Now that's a long wall. So these are some of the negotiations I'm doing with the Prime Minister on the side. But I want you to remember and realize that the Prime Minister has to share whatever he has with everybody else.
I know.
So we are having conversation both with the Archbishop, both with the Prime Minister. So down the road, you will see something happening to secure the cemetery wall.
What is a derelict vehicle doing in a cemetery? 4522979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Just heard there from Auntie Emma, MP for Soufre and for Jacques, Commerce Minister, speaking on Tuesday during the SLP's town hall meeting, responding to a question coming from one of their supporters. We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon, NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Yes, Timothy, good afternoon. How are you, sir?
I'm okay, caller. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good, sir. I just heard that statement from Emma there, right?
Yes.
He said that he took out...
No, not Emma.
All the
Auntie,
rest...
call her Auntie Emma, not just Emma.
Oh,
Auntie Emma.
Auntie Emma.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Auntie Emma.
Mm.
She took out all the rest of the boats, right? That was there. But this specific boat, she does not want to take it out. Right? Wonder why? Because maybe that boat belongs to UWP. That's why she does not want to take it out. Again, we can see the biasness of this lady in Soufrière. I am a Soufriérian, and trust me, we're ready to take her out. Trust me. We are ready. Thank you, Tim.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. 452-297. Let's find out what's happening in the chat room. Amanda, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Tim. Good afternoon, New Spinners. A few comments from earlier. Someone says here, competition among providers may just be the catalyst for better and reliable service, which may even see a reduction in costs, which benefits the consumers. Now, the comment, I think the point that is being made is quite important. We all need to know that our institutions are working in the way that they are supposed to. Now, the comment reads, is the cemetery government owned or privately owned? If it's privately owned, then deal with the owners of the cemetery. Someone says there, so the stove owner has to come and remove the old stove as well. A new spinner says here, Tim, how can we breathe a sigh of relief? Are you forgetting the tax on any ship with Chinese parts? A new spinner says there, Tim, he is not missing in action. He is just taking small steps. He will soon get to it. Now the comment reads, Barbados Prime Minister reminds me of Prime Minister Eugene Charles back in the days. We in America have to be prepared for anything by the president. Someone says here, you complain about the high import food bill, but you silly people want to make fun of PJP for saying something so simple as growing your own food. What is the issue? Another comment reads, that's a farm, not a kitchen garden. Someone says, people, you all can't be selling fish any and everywhere. Sometimes you have to be uncomfortable for the greater good. Another comment reads, it's their habit, grand opening and promptly shutting down the buildings. I wonder if the library market is still opened. Someone says there is a standard for fishermen that they should follow. Fish needs to be iced. They need to have the health card and they should follow health and safety standards. Head cover, apron, proper shoes, see the standards that exist in other countries. A commentary reads, the team SLP in opposition said that Shas should have sold Cabot to ready and waiting local investors. But why didn't they sell Mount PMAD to these ready and waiting local investors? Another comment reads, do like everybody else. Take your knowledge to a first world country. I am sure you will be well rewarded. You are wasting your time here in St. Lucia. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Let's see if you have a call on the landline at 452-2979. Once again, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Somebody says they're via WhatsApp, Tim. That's TEAM. The ghost went on a joyride. That's why the car parked in the cemetery. It's haunted property. We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to you, Mr. Guy Mears. Mr. Guy Joseph, sorry. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Yes. Tim, did you hear President Obama's recent media interview with one of the universities in the U.S. talking about the Trump policies?
No, I haven't.
It makes for very interesting listening. Maybe if you have a chance one of these days, you need to just... Because I saw so many similarities between what President Obama was highlighting, how this is going to affect America and how it is, and some of the similar situations, though on a much smaller scale in St. Lucia. Kim, I want to touch a couple of points because since I had called your program yesterday, I did not want to call back. When this caller said about, I don't know what is happening in agriculture, I guess this person maybe trying to divert attention from what I raised him. But from the points that I raised, which one of them is incorrect? Because I said there were no boxes for the banana farmers. That's a fact, Tim. I said there was no oil. You saw the interviews that was done by the farmers, the FAR vehicles, and the roads. And it is interesting that the caller would ask me, what roads did we do when we were in government? And Tim, just permit me to run through a few. Crown Lands to Dago, The Flowsack Bridge was built because and that's in the back area. That's to allow the farmers to access the land to the back of the river. While the road was there, you had to drive into the river. We did the Bele Road. Bele is serving both farming and community. We had cleared the Dewash Road and the Esperance Road. Then we did the Chassin to Bourgis. We did the opening of the Maho Road that had been closed for a number of years through landslides, a certain section of it. We did a couple of agricultural roads in Prale. Tim, when you get to the bay in Prale, the road going up the hill on the other side, we did these roads. You remember I did a piece of concrete road in Sandy Fe, and the Labour Party had labeled it the road going to nowhere. You recall that?
Yes, I remember, yes.
You know that I met with a group of more than 20 farmers, and that was their recommendation, and that road was done for them. Then we did the Roseau to Millet Kaiko area road. That road was done as a community road and also as a farm road. In Dennery, we did a couple of roads that is opposite where Hilltop used to be. When you go into that area, that road takes you to a number of farms inside there. And I'm talking about roads that was done when I was Minister of Communications and Works between 2006, 2011. Roads that was done between 2016 and 2021. Tim, what these callers, and we did a few more roads in Dennery also. And these are roads that I just recall from the top of my head, Tim. I didn't go and just to try and figure out and get a list of all the roads that we did. So for a caller, and as you indicated, may have been from the Ministry of Agriculture, at least if you come in, give the information. And I'm happy about your first caller who indicated that if you get a roll of covering, I mean, in this day and age, if we're talking about agricultural production, if we're talking about food security, team, and in last year's social and economic review, the area of agriculture was down, and I'm eagerly waiting to see the outcome or the report of the social and economic review on the performance of the agricultural sector in St. Lucia. Tim, I am from the community of Forestier, and contrary to what some people think, I still live in Forestier, and I see every area that used to be farmland with plantations of bananas, whether it was Dashinia, predial larceny has affected the agricultural production. So while people are saying, while the government is saying, look here, let us go ahead and deal with the matter of planting more. Tim, when you plant and you are not the one harvesting, somebody harvests before you. What are the farmers expected to do? And the police, their hands are filled with dealing with the crime situation. We had a predial larceny unit. You remember that was established on the previous UWP government, I think it was, where you had those persons with responsibility to check out what was happening with the farms. Most of the times they never had vehicles. We don't even know what has become of that unit, whether they are still functional or not. So we cannot on the one hand go and ask farmers to go and produce. Where is the market team? We had opened the marketing board down in Odsa, and we were setting up that company with the hotels, the supermarkets, where you would grade the products each day of the week. A product would be purchased. You see, when the caller called and said, but I don't know, the 7 crop program is still ongoing. if the 7-crop program is still ongoing, where is the market for these farmers? Because we were not just introducing the 7-crop program to just tell farmers go and plant. The program was structured in such a way that you would be given a contract to produce a certain amount. You would know the price beforehand, and you would have a ready market available to receive your product as soon as it was ready for harvesting. So I want the people in the Ministry of Agriculture to come and tell me what has transpired in that area. Because I believe that, and I heard you about Mr. Dicarius and his plan and what he foresees for agriculture. But Tim, farmers who are going to make a living, couldn't the caller at least tell us the information about the tractor that was plowing the land for the farmers and why it has been down for a year? So we think that after the farmers lost thousands of dollars during the time, and Tim, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that a former manager of the Bank of St. Lucia was the one putting the list together of farmers who are getting paid. And I can tell you, I'm not going to mention any names, Tim. People know who was responsible, and they know that the farmers who genuinely deserve payment, some of them never got their payment. And that's a fact, Tim. Have we ever seen a publication? Have we ever seen a formal report of what transpired? You know how many thousands of dollars the farmers lost, and those who are shipping products during the time we never not have boxes, and you turn around and you give the farmers $1,000 or $3,000 in some instances, and you think that makes up? Recently, Tim, I was in the same area we did the concrete road from Deglo to Crownlands. And the farmers had to chop down the banana plantations with bunches of bananas on them, because once a banana tree had more or less than 3 green leaves, it was considered leaf spot that it had reached the point where it could not be harvested to be resold or to be sold. So either it was used for those who had pigs, use it to feed the pigs, but generally the farmers lost all their crop because there was no oil for over 4 months. And that was the responsibility of the Ministry of Agriculture, to supply the oil to the farmers. So I don't have to come and make noise or come and make up stories about what is happening. What they need to tell us, so if you give somebody a roll of diaphragm, you think that solves the problem. If you give them 1 roll of the covering to prevent the grass from growing. In my days in agriculture, Tim, you didn't have to put anything to prevent the grass from growing. You know, you used to weed the grass when you plant dashing or you plant whatever else you planted. I mean, of course, it makes it easier if you have the covering to keep the grass from growing, and just the hole where you put the plant is where it is allowed to grow. Tim, I also want to make a quick comment on the fishermen and the issues. Are you aware that this building that was going up right in the corner of the John Compton Highway next to the roundabout there? Is it Jean-Baptiste?
Yes, on the waterfront?
No, on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
You remember there was some chicken place there right in front of where they build a new box.
Yeah.
You remember there was a building going on there?
Yes, it was previously occupied by JJ's Paradise, I think.
Yes, it was
in the corner.
It used to be in that area
Yes.
one time, and then somebody else had taken over.
Yes.
And they were extending, they were building, and they had no DCA approval. My information, Tim, and you can verify, I'm not going to say anything that's liable to you, because I know how this government operates. But my information indicates that this matter was in court. The DCA had taken the matter to court because what was being erected there did not have the requisite approval. And the matter was dropped when DCA was about to win the case. And instructions were given to drop the case. I'm not going to say who gave the instructions. I want to challenge the DCA and anybody else. And the records are in the courts to show that the matter was in court. See, that is what our country has become. There is nothing you can do that is going to be done above board with this government. It is a scary situation. And my final comment for today on this is to highlight what, there was a program that Lisa appeared on that same station. Is it Threesome or something in the morning?
Yes, the Threesome in the morning, yes. On Power 97.9. The same radio station? Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't listen to it. Other people told me that a lot of accusations were leveled at me and a lot of things were said. I don't know how true or how. But Tim, whatever is being said about me by the PRO of the Labour Party, worse is being said about Joachim in the constituency by her, Up to yesterday, I was in the Odsa area. Not yesterday, day before yesterday. And you have a PRO of the Labour Party telling people how badly the MP for Castries South is performing. So if they belong to the same party, and so much can be said about the MP for the area, who's a minister in government, what do you leave for me, Tim? What do we expect will be said about me? But I want St. Lucians to pay attention to what is being said. Because, remember, Tim, did I send you a copy of the letter where the government had committed to paying the bills? I'd sent the letter to Matnick to indicate that we had agreed at the time to pay the bills for Jeremiah. Norbert?
Yes, I received that letter, copies of the letter.
Okay. Didn't the PRO of the Labour Party say that they searched everywhere and there was no record of anything?
Mm-hmm.
So, if I am out of government and I could receive, and I didn't have the letter beforehand, I received the letter after the statement was made. So, did she really look for that letter? Or was she being told? I want to say to you, Tim, have you seen the press secretary of the White House? This lady, I can't remember her name now.
Yeah, she's about 27 years old.
And she said tariffs and not taxes. you saw that statement?
I saw it, yes.
And the US media was livid on this whole matter, that a public relations officer for the White House did not even understand what a tariff was.
I think she pretended not to understand. Give her some credit.
She pretended not to understand.
Yeah, give her some credit.
Tim, you will it. No, but Tim, so she was deliberately lying to the people, because if you pretend not to understand something that you truly understand, Tim, and we want to talk about young people, and we want to talk about integrity, and we want to talk about, being fair and being honest. And we have a PRO for the Labour Party. Now, Tim, I know too much in this situation, and I will not fall into the trap of saying anything that can be misconstrued about this young lady. I will not go down that road. That has never been my style in politics. But the desperation to remove Joachim and to become the candidate, and it puzzles me that a Labour Party which seem to say they have the issues under control. And people magnify what happens in UWP. But I can tell you, it's pure chaos on the ground in Castries Southeast between two Labour Party operatives. So, Tim, I'm just on the sidelines. I'm watching what is going on. I'm listening. Every day I get phone calls. In fact, I was told yesterday morning, before 6 a.m., or no, to be more precise, 6:15 in the morning, in the rain, a certain person in government was by people's houses in the Sarot area, knocking on doors. People who had been absent for the last 4 years, Tim, all of a sudden they are reappearing. You would think it's magic that the Labour Party is doing by appearing and disappearing and then reappearing. So, Tim, I'm on the sidelines. I'm watching what is going on. But I think the people of St. Lucia are very clear on what is before us. And I agree, your question of the day, Tim, the evidence is there that there will be more taxes being imposed by a Labour Party government. They have indicated that a UWP government we are guaranteeing a reduction in taxes. That is a choice that St. Lucians have to make. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much for calling. First Deputy Political Leader of the Opposition, UWP, Mr. Guy Joseph. Finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, woman jailed for $50 donation to Ukraine, freed by Russia in prisoner swap. Woman jailed for $50 donation to Ukraine, freed by Russia in prisoner swap. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, NewsSpin. We'll be back tomorrow afternoon, same time at 12:30. Goodbye.